Okay.
So, would you like to ask me?
Is it begun?
It's on. What would you like to ask me?
Okay, so what is Parkinson's and its effects on the lives of those who have it?
Okay, I suppose the best way to start is to first ask, do you all know much about Parkinson's disease or how it actually comes about? Or do you have a rough idea what happens when people have Parkinson's? No, right?
Yeah.
Or just very vague?
Very
vague. Okay. What happens is that Parkinson's is a chronic disease. It happens over a long period of time. It's progressive, which means it gets worse and worse as time goes on. And it's neurodegenerative, which means that it's related to your nervous system, and it degenerates, it degrades over time. And it was first described in 1817 by a guy called James Parkinson. That's why Parkinson's disease. He wrote an essay on shaking palsy. Palsy refers to a nerve lesion, which is a problem with the nervous system. So when he talked about shaking palsy, we'll elaborate on this later. It's one of the symptoms of Parkinson's, which is motor control, tremors. Okay. So in Singapore, based on 2007 statistics, right, the incidence rate is 32 for every 100,000 people aged 50 and above. So your average age of onset is about 68 years for your patients. So that's when you usually see people have or develop symptoms of Parkinson's if they are inclined to have this disorder. So most of them have it, 70% have it as an idiopathic form. That means it just occurs without any prior cause. And the remainder have it as a result of infection from a virus or toxins or brain tumor, and then they display the symptoms of Parkinson's. Okay. So what happens is that the basal ganglia, which belongs to the cerebellum, which is the rear brain. Have you all done biology?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know the rear brain, right? Right, cerebellum. So there's a section called the basal ganglia. So there is a layer called the substantia nigra. It has what it does is it produces dopamine. Have you all learned neurotransmitters in bio in school? Not really.
Basic.
Basic. Okay.
Basics.
Dopamine, understand it?
Yeah, so
Okay, it's kind of like a suppressor. Okay, so for dopamine, okay, what happens is that what is affected are the cells that produce dopamine. So you have reduced amount of dopamine, so it affects your neural pathways. So because it happens in a network, a chain, and dopamine affects different parts of the network. So you have some chains that are hyperactive and some chains that are not sufficiently activated. So that's why you have the performance issues when it comes to Parkinson's, and that's why you have all the motor system disorders and so on. So overall, what happens is that your movement is slower. Okay, it affects the timing of your movement. So how you plan, how the person actually plans and activates the movement is also affected. Okay, so what becomes stimulated is your parasympathetic nervous system, which acts on acetylcholine. So because of lack of dopamine, so there's no inhibition of the system. So you have muscle activity that's hard to control. If like you have jerks, and there's either that or it's a very rigid movement, there's no control, or the movement is very, very slow. So these are all what happens to people who have Parkinson's disease. So it has a lot of effects on people. So what you see the most often would be rigidity. So there are two types. One is cogwheel and one is lead pipe. So cogwheel rigidity is when I push the arm, right? The resistance is not constant. It's like jerk on and off. Another type is lead pipe, which is continuous resistance, very sustained. And at the start, it's usually one-sided. And as it progresses, it affects. It starts from your proximal muscles. It spreads to your face, your neck. So you start having muscle issues in the neck and face region, which I'll elaborate on later. The limbs, your foreleg, your two hands, your two legs will feel very stiff, very heavy, and because of that, it affects your gait, your ability to move, and also because it affects motion, it causes muscle contractures, it causes postural changes. So you change your posture, you deform, and these will cause symptoms that I will also elaborate on later. As you know, because dopamine also because of the acetylcholine chain, you also have slowness of movement. You call it bradykinesia. So you either have a reduced range of movement. So either you move less, you move slower, or you move with less intensity. So what happens if is that people with Parkinson's, they have difficulty with starting the action. So when they think that they want to walk or they want to get up from a chair, they take a long time before they initiate the movement. And they have problems with changing positions. So when they walk and they have to turn right, they end up tripping or falling because they have it's difficult for them to initiate the movement to change direction. They also have freezing. So when they walk, they'll suddenly stop because they just cannot figure out where to take the next step. And when they walk, they take smaller steps, even though that they walk at the same pace, the cadence. So you walk, like say, 10 steps a minute. Sorry, that's a bit slow. 10 steps or 15 steps at a certain amount of time. They will still walk at the same cadence, but they take small steps. So what it means is that they take a longer time to travel a certain distance, which will affect their movement around the community. The third one is the most stereotypical one that you all see, tremors. So the shaking of the hands, usually see in the movies. One you'll see is pill rolling. So what they do, the pill rolling motion is they'll take their thumb and then they'll rub it on their palm. They will have tremors in the forearm, so this movement, in the jaw and the tongue. So the tongue also tremor. It will happen at rest. When they move, it will become less obvious. And when they sleep, it goes away. These type of tremor situations are affected by stress and when they're tired. So the problem about this is that it gets worse later on because a lot of Parkinson sufferers also suffer from depression. So it affects their mood and their symptoms worsen because of that. So it's like a vicious cycle. Early stage, the tremor period is short, but it gets more severe later on and to the point where it actually interferes with function. So like walking around, swallowing, eating, all these issues will kick in later on. So they also have issues with their balance, with their control of their posture because of the tremor, because of amount that they can step. They are scared to reach the limits of your balance. So when you balance, when you stand, when you walk, right, you have different ways of, your body has different ways of adjusting. For example, when you lean, you're using your ankles to control. When you have to swing out and maintain a center of gravity, your hips go to the side, but your rest of your body maintains in the center. And another one is your step control, step balance strategy. So when they push you too hard, you fall and take one step to catch yourself. Parkinson sufferers cannot do all this. So they end up falling. And when they fall, and because of the old age, right, they end up having fractures. So these will become complications to their condition later on. Other issues they have is dual task difficulty. They can't focus on doing more than one task at the same time. So when they walk, they can't walk and talk. They can't walk and read signs. They can't, for example, read or eat at the same time. So they can't do all these multitask. They only can focus on one thing and complete the task before they can move on to the next task. Anything more than that, they tend to fail at both tasks. For example, they trip, they stop walking, they get confused. Other issues they have is dysphagia, so they have problem with swallowing, right? Dysarthria, problem with speaking, cognitive impairment, so they may exhibit signs of dementia, or just some memory loss. Depression, I've mentioned earlier. Because of postural changes, they have like respiratory function issues, so they find themselves getting breathless easily, and because of the medication, which we'll talk about later, and because of the way the loss of dopamine affects your autonomic pathway, they will have what we call orthostatic hypotension, which means that when they change position from lying down to sitting up, right, their blood pressure drops. And because of that, when they cannot equalize properly, right, or they take a longer time to equalize, they will experience giddy symptoms and may faint. So all these are issues that they have to manage when they have Parkinson's.